The Senator from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. President. After the very weighty and serious discussion that just preceded me, I come maybe with a little bit more lighthearted message for you, Mr. President, and my colleague, the senior senator from Colorado, Senator Bennett. Mr. President, I think everybody knows here, the folks up in the gallery may know that Denver is home of the Super Bowl 50 winners, the Denver Broncos, and you and I, Mr. President, attended the Super Bowl on Sunday, and I'm sure you agree it was quite a treat. God blessed us with beautiful weather, and the people of Santa Clara really made us feel welcome at home. They did an amazing job. The Super Bowl organizers are to be commended for their attention to detail and the superb work that they did to make us feel welcome. It was a fantastic experience for me, so I can only imagine with you having the winning team how much fun it was for you. Well, Mr. President, I think it's safe to say that there are thousands in Colorado on a Rocky Mountain high this week. And I bet there's even more that are really happy that the Broncos won the Super Bowl. The Denver Broncos played a great game, and they defeated my Carolina Panthers. Both defenses played extraordinarily well, and the Broncos offense did just enough to get the job done. So, Mr. President and Senator Bennett, I come to the Senate chamber today to fulfill my wager, to humbly offer my congratulations to the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos and to all of their fans in your great state, and I would argue across the nation. But before I talk about your beloved Panthers, I want to thank you, Mr. President, for not accepting some of my maybe more exuberant or over-exuberant offers that I made as a possible friendly wager. And for C-SPAN viewers at home, you may want to avert your eyes. I really don't think I would have looked very good in an orange beard with Broncos earrings. And with all due respect, Mr. President, you look a lot like Papa Smurf with a blue beard. So a simple speech of congratulations is what I have to offer. Mr. President, truth is I'm deeply disappointed about the Panthers' loss. But it's also true, unless the Broncos are playing my Panthers or my childhood team, the Miami Dolphins, I'm usually pulling for the Broncos. The Broncos organization, starting with the Bolin family and Coach Kubiak, are top-notch and well-respected in the NFL. And then former greats like John Elway, Terrell Davis, Shannon Sharp, Ed, how could he wear so few pads and still survive McCaffrey? And so many others have made this team so much fun to watch over the years. But then there's this guy, Peyton Manning, or the Sheriff, as Coach Gruden nicknamed him back in 2009. I've been watching Peyton Manning since he was recruited to the University of Tennessee many, many years ago. 5-time NFL MVP, 2-time Super Bowl winner on 2 different franchises. And next month, on March 24th, he's going to be 40 years old, playing at the top of his game. Peyton is an amazing athlete, but what really makes Peyton extraordinary is his character and his behavior on and off the field. He's a true gentleman, he's a great sport, and he's a scholar of the game. Now, I opted not to put up a graphic on the New England Patriots because anybody who knows me knows that I'm not much of a fan of the New England Patriots dating back to a December 1982 snowplow game. But in addition to all the other things that Peyton Manning has done, he also led the Broncos to a victory over the Patriots in the AFC Championship, completely deflating Tom Brady's shot at another Super Bowl ring. That alone makes Peyton Manning a great American in my book. Mr. President, the Broncos and I do have something in common. We were both born in 1960. We're both 56 years old. They built a franchise that most fans expect to be in contention every year. The Panthers, on the other hand, are young. They were born in 1995. They're 20 years old. You want to put that up there. They've already gone to the playoffs 7 times. They've won 2 NFC championships, been in the big game twice. And I believe that next year they've got a good shot, be it in contention. So before I close, Mr. President, I'd like to thank owner Jerry Richardson and Coach Ron Rivera and the Carolina Panthers. Mr. Richardson is a pillar of our community, and Coach Rivera has developed a Super Bowl caliber team. Cam Newton, the league MVP, Luke Kuechly, our defensive standout, and a total of 10 Pro Bowlers this year and a 17-2 season. It was fun to watch. The Super Bowl was fun to watch. Mr. President, you know I did grow a playoff beard. And after we ended the regular season, I proudly displayed it for weeks here on the Senate floor and back in North Carolina and at Levi's Stadium on Super Bowl night. But on Monday morning, I got misty-eyed as I shaved it off in San Francisco. So with all apologies to Tony Bennett, I penned a poem based on one of his songs about that same city. I've called it, I Left My Hair in San Francisco. I left my hair in San Francisco after the game had haunted me. I'm cleanly shaven, quite sad and bare, while Broncos fans dance like Fred Astaire. The loveliness of Santa Clara seems somehow sad today. The glory of my Panther season is of another day. But I'm looking forward to next year's season because I expect a Super Bowl repeat for many good reasons. Senator Bennett, Mr. President, congratulations on a great Super Bowl win for the Denver Broncos. And I look forward to many, many more games our two teams may play in the future. And I yield the floor.
President.
The Senator from Colorado.
Mr. President, I'll be very brief. I've got a longer set of remarks that I want to give next week celebrating the Broncos' victory, and I know our colleague from Wyoming is here. But since the President is shackled to the desk and can't make remarks, I would say on his behalf just how grateful the two of us are to the Senator from North Carolina for the graciousness of his remarks. I know how hard it must have been, but to have you not only make the remarks but provide original poetry at the end is more than anybody could have expected. So through the chair, I say thank you for that. And I also want to say how proud we are of the Broncos and the Broncos organization, the Bolin family, and the entire team for what they were able to pull off. I was able to watch it in my living room with my wife and daughters. I want to congratulate in particular Von Miller, who is the MVP, and our defense, who played a game like no other defense I have ever seen. And finally, Mr. President, I would simply say thank you to Peyton Manning for the example he has set for my children and for children all over our state, that what matters is not how good you are or how skilled you are or how you act in the minute. What matters is the patient decades of hard work a person is willing to put in to perfect their craft. That is what Peyton Manning has demonstrated. That's what he's shown. That's the value that he has lived. And I think he's made a huge difference, as I say, to the next generation of Coloradans. And we learned last week as well that game, just like any game, is not about any one individual, it's about a team. And we saw a team, weaknesses and strengths, come together and win a game over a very, very tough organization in the Carolina Panthers. So, Mr. President, with that, I see my colleague from Colorado is now on the floor. I will yield the floor by saying, go Broncos.
President.
Senator from Colorado.
I thank the Senator from Wyoming for providing relief and the presiding officer for allowing me the opportunity to make these remarks. I want to thank my colleague, my freshman colleague from the great state of North Carolina, for those kind words. I can only imagine if the Senator from Colorado, my colleague, Senator Bennett, and I had to give the same remarks, had the outcome been different, that we could only be so gracious. So thank you very much for the congratulations to the Denver Broncos and obviously the Carolina Panthers. What an exciting game that they were able to be a part of, and many more years of success to both franchises, undoubtedly. And for those of you in Colorado who were able to watch the game, what an exciting time it was. We can remember the great teams led by John Elway, whether they played the Packers or the Falcons for the 2 Super Bowl victories, and now this exciting victory at Santa Clara as well. But also the million people who showed up in Denver, Colorado just a few short days ago in downtown to express their outpouring of support for the Denver Broncos. But this has truly been a exciting time for the people of Colorado, and I'm really glad that Senator Bennett and I didn't end up having to grow a beard. So thank you, Senator Tillis from the great state of North Carolina. I yield the floor.